Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, agents. I'm Matty Carl, and this is your Division news for the week of 12/18. And first off, I want to go ahead and apologize that I have been light on content in this past week and going forward. I know you guys look to the community for help and advice, and lately I have failed on that for the most part, due in part to having to fly back and forth to LA for various reasons. This past week, Matty Carl was in Los Angeles doing a video shoot for a commercial for something that I can't talk about, and I am heading back again this week to do another commercial, so there might be some content lapse. I'm going to try and get a video out every day this week, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. It's part of the reason I have not been able to get out vendor reset recommendations on time and other Let's Talk videos that I have in the back pocket that I want to do. If you know a bit about Matty Carl, I do voiceovers and other commercial work for various industries. If you ever played a video game called Freaky Flyers, which was an older game for the Xbox made by Midway in the past, you'll see old Matty did a voice for one of the characters. If you've ever played that, Matty Carl did one of the voices for the characters there, and I have been trying to get back into video game VO, but it is a different time and different day and age, and people these days want famous voices to, voice over their games. So folks like myself, well, we just gotta take what we can get. Now, that is enough of the apology, because today's video is all about the news, notes, and vendor recommendations that you need. So to start off, we got Survival PS4 dropping in one day. That's right, PS4 fans, get ready, because tomorrow, the 20th, is your day to shine. We have loads of information for you from our survival standpoint on how to survive and how to make it all the way through without dying. Go ahead and take a look at our survival video. The real key to surviving the survival area is patience and cunning. The times I don't make it out of the survival is when I get impatient and I try to run through a group of enemies and something like that. Slow and steady and be ready. Those are the keys to survival. And if you see an extraction, forget about your antivirals. If it's your first time getting out, just try and run for the chopper, help out when the hunters appear, and try and make it to the chopper. I had a guy, I ran him through. It was very funny. His first time, and it was just me and him. We did double, and actually, if you're seeing this, I'll go ahead and try and use the survival video. His name is Mochi. You may know him as Mo Money. Some of you have added him to your friends list. He's pseudo famous right now because he's front and center in the video. And so what happened was that we were both extracting, and I got my antivirals, he got his antivirals, and we were heading to the extraction point. Somebody had called in an extraction. We killed our hunters. We were light on gear, but there was another guy. There was one other guy there. We both showed up. Our hunters showed up, and we killed our hunters. He killed his hunter, and a couple other people showed up, and their hunters appeared. And so we killed their hunters, and I ran the chopper. Once the landing thing was clear, I ran to the chopper, and Mochi did not run to the chopper. He saw gear, and he saw the big shiny yellow light coming from above, and he thought, I'm going to go ahead and go for that gear, as did one other player. And both of those players ran for the gear. I ran for the chopper, as did three other people who were just kind of hiding in the wings. And we all got on the chopper, and these two people got left behind. And luckily I was there, and I was still in the party, and I was guiding Mochi through, getting out. And so he went ahead and he crafted his flare gun, got back out, and with a minute left, he extracted. It was an amazing time, because most of the time, your first time through survival, you're not going to make it. Now, the survival drops on the 20th, but it's really going to go out with a maintenance on the night of the 19th, and be ready for the morning, of the 20th. That's when it's going to really drop, is probably around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. on the 20th PSD. Hopefully, we all remember how well underground deployment went. Massive. My suggestion, don't mess around with the time zone thing, with all of that Sony crap, and, that you tried to pull with underground. Release it all at once and be done with it. This will make everyone like you and like what you're doing, and make you look less incompetent as a company. And Sony, don't mess around with survival, when it comes out. Just let it all come out at the same time. It's just easier for everyone. Now, next on the list, we got Steam numbers for you. I forgot to tell you, we're going to go ahead and go over Steam numbers, because this weekend was the free weekend on PC, and these numbers are good. I mean, the numbers really, really look good for Steam over the weekend, and by good, I mean a huge boost of players came back, like month 2 numbers. To see how how the Division had changed, and as the weekend wraps up, it will be interesting to see how many people actually stick around. Now, I can tell you this, the numbers have already thinned out, but at the peak playtime this weekend, there were 38,689 people playing the Division. That is actually more than month 3 and about the same as month number 2, less than month number 1. And, now how many of those people are going to stick around? Well, as of right now, it looks like it's already dropped down to about 50% of what that number is, and it's slowly declining over time because as the weekend wraps up, less and less people are going to play. I would say that we're going to see a good number of people stick around, maybe in the 10,000 range, which is good enough to be higher than month number 3 of the Division release, where we saw about 9,000 peak players at any one time. All in all, on PC, the free weekend has put Ubisoft up and made Massive and Division look really good at this point. Also, just as a side note, GameStop is running a buy Watch Dogs 2 and get the Division free. So if you have a friend who doesn't have the Division, go buy yourself Watch Dogs, get them a nice Christmas present of the Division. This is going to run until December 24th, so you can get Watch Dogs 2 and then give away your copy of the Division if you already have it. That way you have friends to play with, and they're not out any money or something of that sort. So all right, so on to vendor recommendations. And this week's vendor, it's kind of light. There weren't really too many recommendations, so let's go ahead, start at the boo, and work our way outward. There's only probably 4 must-buy things that I would suggest to you. The only thing I personally buy at the boo is down in the terminal with the converted USC blueprint. I would go ahead and buy that blueprint. It's a pretty nice gun. It's not a must-have. It's all right if you're looking to craft some submachine guns and get rid of some of your Phoenix credits. I wouldn't buy it first. I would go ahead, wait for all the recommendations and see what's out there, and then buy it if you have any time left over. So for Mounty's next recommendation, hit up DZ6 in the Dark Zone. You're going to find 2 pieces of Alpha Bridge, with one of them having a superb roll. I would say it's a superior roll to most Alpha Bridge sets. I would highly recommend the Alpha Bridge chest piece, coming in at 84 armor, coming in at 3100 armor and 1232 stamina. It's one of the best rolls that I've seen on a chess piece. It's not by any means a god roll, it's a superior roll. It's now, it's one of the best rolls I've seen at a vendor as well, but it is good. It is a good chess piece nonetheless. If you need a chess, this is the one to buy. If you don't have Loray's chess piece and you're running Alpha, go buy this chess piece if you have enough credits. There is also an Alpha Bridge backpack there, but I wouldn't recommend getting this unless you really need something to complete your set. There are definitely better Alpha Bridge, especially in the boo, that you can buy with Phoenix credits. The roll on this is terrible, and it's pretty much just trash loot. I would just avoid it. Don't get it. Now, there are a ton of terrible purchasing options this week, that being one of them, and I haven't really found any performance mods or gear that are must buy. There's a few. So let's go ahead and skip to Mounty's buy of the week, and that's going to be from the special equipment vendor in the terminal. Go to the boo, go down to the terminal, go to the special equipment vendor. He has an LVOA-C with Vicious, Deadly, and Destructive. You can swap out Vicious and put Brutal on it, and you'll have a great weapon for tearing through PvE content. I would say that is your best bet. It's a fairly hefty 1,248 Phoenix credits, so buy with caution if you don't have that much money. You can get a better roll, as I have a better, LVOA, but in terms of purchases, this one I would not pass up. I would go ahead, if you don't have a better assault rifle, I would buy this assault rifle. This is actually one of the better assault rifles that you can get, and I would go ahead and buy this one. If anything this week, this is probably the number 1 must buy. So there you have it, PS4 Survival out on the 20th. Steam numbers show that people are willing to play the Division if it were free, and any recommendations for what you should buy this week from the vendors, the LVOA-C and the Alpha Bridge chest, are Mounty's picks of the week. Those are the ones that you should buy. Anyways, that's my time. Thank you so much for watching. We'll keep bringing you the weekly news and vendor resets when we can. Things are going to be busy for the next couple of weeks, so there might be just a live update this week with no gameplay, just my smiling face in the background, but that's only if there's breaking news. On a side note, I'm going to do a special Q&A session, so if you have any questions for me, leave them down in the comments, and I'll start answering these at the end of my videos so that I can kind of do a Q&A about who Mounty Curl is and what I do do and a lot of stuff like that. And I'll answer, if it's not too personal, I'll answer the question. A lot of you who play with me are very shocked by some of the things that I tell you about my life. And so it's quite funny to go ahead and give you that perspective as to, who Mountie is, what he is, how old he is, what he looks like, all of that stuff. So for all of us here at the Division News, I'm Mountie Curl, and we'll keep the lights on in the DZ for you. Agent out.